across two major lanes, and there's semis and lots of cars coming, and I don't feel safe enough holding my phone and doing it live. I'm just walking home. I walk a lot for transportation. I don't drive. I love being a pedestrian in Southern California. I know everybody talks about being a pedestrian in New York, but Southern California is actually better because we have better sidewalks, better views, and you actually have benches. And I've heard in New York City, like somebody was saying that there's not even places you can sit down. Like we have bus stops where you can sit down if you need to tie your shoes, and it's not as crowded because New York is densely populated, and most people just walk for like pleasure in Southern California. You don't have too many people just walking for transportation. I just always have. I'm like an anomaly, but I kind of like it. I've just always wanted to walk. I don't like to drive, so I walk. So anyway, I want to try to finish my little talk about the whole influencer culture, how we got to where we are in my view. So I would say like up till 2008, I would call that the toddler time of the internet. And then I would say around 2008, 2009, a lot of websites were starting to do 2.0. I feel like something about the 2008 era, people were exiting MySpace to go to Facebook. And I don't know what it was that prompted me to do that, but I just decided to start using Facebook instead of MySpace. And at first I was like, it's so boring, it's just plain, like you can't decorate it. But then I started noticing everybody was on Facebook. So I started going to Facebook, but I kind of would use it more just to like share little articles I wrote. But back then, I would say most people were on Facebook, like to just share things about their family, like things that I would say were the most popular on Facebook are probably still the same today, unless you're following like a website's page or something. Like Facebook's pages, like at that time, were just people sharing family pictures and things. But I would say like 2009 to 2012 were like the elementary school years. Like the internet was no longer a toddler anymore. It was becoming a child. Like it was starting to grow and people were growing with it. During this era, there were people like that went online. Like I had phones that you could go online with, like actually before that, like with the Razor phone, you could go online. You couldn't do much. It was very clunky. And this was about 2006, 2007. I had a couple of Verizon phones. You would go online, but it was just very clunky at that time. But you could go online with a Palm Pilot before, and Blackberries, okay? Like my sister actually ended up getting a Blackberry Storm in, I would say, 2009. Like those things were pricey at the time, but they were like the forerunners of smartphones. Like you could do a lot of things online. Like they actually had a keyboard that you could text with. So instead of like hunting and pecking like you would with a flip phone, you could quickly text a message to people. And you could watch like YouTube videos, you could post to social media like Facebook and stuff like that. So some people had like Blackberries and things like that. But then I would say, actually in 2007, I know like Steve Jobs had released the iPhone, but a lot of people I knew didn't have iPhones yet or Android phones. Like I still had, but maybe I was kind of behind the game. Like if you wanted to do things on social media, most computers, like, or they didn't have a smartphone, so they'd have to go somewhere else to use a computer. Like a lot of people still didn't have a home computer yet. So I would say around maybe 2012, people started getting smartphones more, but not everybody yet. I didn't even get a smartphone until 2014. And I would say for me, because I know a lot of people started using social media like Instagram maybe 2013, 2014, but it started taking off even more. But I would still say like 2012 to like 2015 were like the elementary years of the internet. And I would say maybe 2015 up to 2020, maybe I'm being this is just my way of seeing it, were like the tween years of the internet, okay? Like where the internet, people were finally beginning to join social media sites, and in the late teen years, I would say like maybe, I don't know, 2018, 2019, it was real popular to talk about how, oh, you should declutter social media and you should get off social media and social media is not healthy. And then you would have so-called influencers who are making videos that got lots of views about people saying you should take a break from social media. But then I'm like, they're not. Like a week later, they're posting a video about something else. So it was just to get attention, right? It was controversy stuff. Controversy is a form of advertising. There's a Forbes article about it, about how you can use controversy as a company, as a business, as a personal brand to your benefit. I mean, and everybody's known about controversy marketing anyway for a long time. So I would say up until 2020, you did have, like during the tween years of the internet, you did have influencers, but I feel like they were more like relegated to Instagram, and they were considered maybe sometimes MLM people or some business people. But I would say the thing that really probably launched influencers now into the new normal is 2020, the panini, okay? 2020 was the beginning of the turbulent teenage years of the internet, in my opinion. Like 2020, like it kind of coalesced with the global panini, because you had people, they were finally told, instead of being told to detox from the internet or take a break from the internet, from their favorite social media influencer, they were told that they should only socialize on the internet and that they should be at home on the internet. And now all of a sudden you had a lot of people, I don't know, I actually worked through the panini. I didn't do, some people, I guess, they became influencers, all kinds of influencers that I never knew existed. I don't know, there was all sorts of influencers that popped up during the panini. And I would say the TikTok influencer girly really started in that era of 2020, maybe to 2021. That's when you started really getting, like, of course you had Instagram influencer girlies, but there's something about the TikTok influencer people, and I would say it's more women than men, because there are, like, I don't know, Andrew Tate, what is he, like, the male chauvinist influencer? I know some people are like, he's so great. Okay, well, a lot of people do watch me. See, that's the thing, guy. I'm not into you. I know that you like to put women down, but that's your problem. People watch me all the time, so that makes no sense. I don't know. Do not listen to men like this. This guy, Seth, he has a lot of growing to do. So much growing to do. A lot of people watch me, and I'm happy. So, I don't know. Time out again? Removed. Nope. I don't have to chill. I'm a strong cookie lady. You see, that's the thing. We don't do that around here. Like, I don't do that. I don't do that kind of thing. Like, you want to tell somebody how it is, they'll tell you back. Like, a little bit of clap back for you. So anyway, in 2020, you got the teenage years of the internet. You had the actual influencer girlies that I think kind of came to fruition then. And I think from 2020 to 2024, like, I feel like we're starting to maybe get into the young adult years of the internet. Like, it's coming of age. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, other people watch. I can't see what everybody's doing. It says there's 3 people watching sometimes. But whatever. So my whole point is, like, this whole controversy thing recently, like, where people think, like, you have a whole bunch of conservative people that love Ballerina Farm, and then you have the liberal people that are wanting to rescue her, but a few months ago they were mad at her because her oven cost more than their car. Like, all these people that are fighting or like upset, disagreeing about Ballerina Farm, I feel like they don't get it. Okay, so I don't even know why Ballerina Farm came up on my feed. I almost feel like were people paid to talk about her. I have nothing against her. She makes dairy stuff. I don't even eat dairy. Like, she wants to open a dairy, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna like boycott her products. I don't have an interest in Ballerina Farm, but for some reason I looked at TikTok a few times and I kept seeing things about her. And her content has never appealed to me. But for some reason, all these people are saying that they need to rescue her. So I couldn't help but think, is some of this like were some people paid to react to her, to act like, oh my god, she's entrapped, to create a controversy? Or are some people just reacting to the controversy she created? Because I know people buy views and they buy people to follow them, like even some of the big influencers like Kim Kardashian recently, and a lot of the big people, like celebrities, have kind of been outed for having bought a lot of their influencers, like a lot of their followers, not influencers, followers. So this just brought me to question, like, I don't have anything against Nora Smith, Ballerina Farm, or the Trad Wives, like the ones that have millions of views and cause like a controversy because they say that they spend 5 hours making like cookie dough from scratch. Like, that's just kind of weird. Like, but if you want to dress up like very beautifully and you look like a model and you want to provoke people that are mad, I mean, I don't really understand why people got so upset about her. Or even the Ballerina Farm. Like, it seems like they're upset about different things. Like, one day they're mad at Ballerina Farm lady because she owns an expensive oven. But last week they're mad because, her husband got her an egg apron instead of a trip to Greece. But did anybody stop to think? Thank you. I'm glad that you do, Seth. But did anybody stop to think maybe Ballerina Farm and her husband, I think her name's Lauren, I don't know, maybe they're actors and maybe they're kind of like bantering this up and making it seem like, I couldn't have a trip to Greece because my husband wants to open a dairy. But I'm sure Ballerina Farm loves it too, because what does she do on her channel? It's all about like dairy, like they make cheese and stuff. So if there's a lady who loves to make cheese from scratch, I'm sure she wanted her own dairy, okay? I'm sure she's as invested in this dairy thing as her husband. I know some people are like, but he took her away from dancing and ballet. But here's the thing. Even if she had went all the way through Juilliard and she became a prima ballerina, how many years could she have danced? And you should read the book Mao's Last Dancer, because Li Xuanxin, he was a very talented male dancer, but even in his prime, I think he was in his late 20s, he realized he could only be a ballet dancer for so much longer. So he made a decision that he either could open a ballet studio where he wouldn't have made that much money. Like, he was making far more money dancing as a highly respected dancer that had defected from China than if he had had a ballet studio. So even if this Ballerina Farm lady had become like a really well-known dancer and then now she opened like a ballet studio, that might not have lasted forever. Maybe she didn't want to teach ballet for the rest of her life, and I believe she's happily married to this guy. I don't think anybody's forcing her to be married to this guy. I know there's a lot of controversy. People are like, she's being for, like, this is just my thought. No, I don't play video games, but you can talk to other people here. Maybe other people play them. So this is my whole thought about the Ballerina Farm lady and Nora Smith. I think they're actors, but I do think that they're happy with their lives. I think they're happy being married and having kids, and I think there's a lot of what I don't understand right now, just like liberal, ultra feminist women that are upset about it. They can be upset, but I don't understand the point. Like, if you're happy with your life, why are you watching content and getting upset about content that doesn't appeal to you? Maybe you should just view the controversies surrounding certain influencers as advertising and not as reality, because maybe they're actors. So what if there's nobody here? It said there were 2 people watching. I don't know what you need. So anyway, I love sharing my thoughts with you guys, and thanks for watching.